Good morning. Welcome back to the show. We have two special guests for you today. But first, I am Neon Poison, your host, aka the Big Blue Boat. Our first guest is the newly elected CEO of Valhalla and uh, the founder of Drop Bear's Combat Mining Fleet, Mr. Cardinal. Hi.
Hey, Neo, thank you.
Welcome. Next, returning to the show for the second time, the one and only, the spiritual and physical leader of the Alliance, Mr. Bojangles.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Okay, let's jump right into it. There's this heist that everyone has been talking about as the biggest heist in the history of Echoes. So, what happened? Let's jump right into it. Bo, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. Shout out to Valhalla for setting more records. Shout out to Golden Horde for setting more records. Not necessarily a record that we wanted,
No,
but just add it to the list of cool things that we've accomplished. That we'll be known for. Yeah. Long story short, when we had a leadership rollover, some leadership change in direction about maybe a month or two ago. Some of those officers that left went to another corp in our family. We supported those officers, and the Alliance supported those officers, and it was a pretty peaceful, goodwill situation.
Yeah.
I made an error though,
Yeah.
and I'd put this squarely on my shoulders, where I did not secure the logins for one of our tunes, a buyback tune that our old industry team used and our new industry team was still using. Because the players are very familiar with it. It's hard to say exactly what caused the player in question to snap. I didn't really receive any messages regarding anything that I think is currently being leveraged for justification. And I haven't seen anything in leadership channels as to these justifications or these complaints. But something happened on their side, and this person on New Year's Eve, maybe with the help of an accomplice or two, broke back into that tune and used it to get a thief into our account in the middle of the night while we were all celebrating the end of a very brutal 2020, and made sure to bring in Valhalla's 2021 by taking all of our ISK and all of our resources and faction ships. So we lost something like 20 billion ISK in liquid. And we lost something like a total of 200 to 300 billion in assets, all in about an hour and a half. So that was not fun, and it still is not fun.
It wasn't. I remember our ping went out literally midnight as we said goodbye to this crazy year.
Yeah.
I was like, there's could not have been a better ending. Sorry.
I found it. I was like, hey, the hangars are empty. What?
2020,
yeah.
The world ended. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say,
yeah.
I will say I was having a nice relaxing day with my fiance and our pupper down at the beach. Everything was laid back and fun, and then it was like Cardinal or somebody messaged me and was like, the apocalypse has just happened, and I don't think I slept more than like an hour that entire night as I was just like rolling around raging in my head. So that sucked.
Yeah, so let's get to the ending here. Let's tell people, update on people, what have we done and what's the situation now. So I know we had a lot of donations. We had a lot of players contribute. Can you tell us more about that, Cardinal, maybe? I think you organized something, right?
Well, there's been a transition with what's happened when we've identified, the player of question that took all our stuff. Still hasn't given it back, and I don't think there's a plan to. As much as if they want to donate it back, we will not reject it. I put it out there. We will not be rejected. But in short, we're moving on. We're moving on to better things, and unfortunately, because of what's happened, we have lost some very good friends in our community. You know, it's a shout out to McPoofy and Joy and ISO, Dems. The list could go on. There's been critical people that have absolutely just contributed huge amounts to Valhalla.
Yeah. People who are devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you have that type of devastation in a volunteer game, you know, you got to go and sometimes you got to go and find new space to spread your wings.
Yeah.
That's fine. And that's, I guess, what's happened. The transition's happened. I've put my hand up, and we're now in a transition into that new team has been appointed, and we're reactivating everything. And it's going to be a good week to get everything settled. But on the flip side of that week, I see some very quick, fast gains.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're ever going to have a restructure, I strongly recommend you do it when NetEase changes all the game mechanics around corporations, because that was like, okay, we'll just change it because it's changing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cardinal brings up a good point, and something I want to highlight here just for context, which is the prior industry team and the people that he just referenced, McPoopy and ISO and Brutemore and Joy, all these people. Well, Brutemore is more of a fighter, but those other guys are all our industry team. But we were set to put McPoopy in here as our new CEO because, truthfully, between work, between the alliance, between all these other things, Valhalla deserves somebody who is more attentive and able to dedicate their time to really taking care of that amazing corporation, right? Because of all of that, we ran into a situation where we've had to go and find new leadership. One thing that I'm really thankful for is, you might have heard when we were just catching up here before this all started, was that I've known Cardinal since before Eve Echoes ever came out. We were arch rivals in a prior game called Stellaris, and he ran a competing alliance to mine, and his group kicked snot out of my group on a regular basis. As an Eve veteran, all the time, regularly, yeah, fair enough. So as an Eve veteran, as somebody that I've known and has been with us since before day one of the launch, and somebody with like a real even keel, like understanding of the long game here in Eve, when he rose his hand, I was just like beyond thankful, because I've been sitting here quietly waiting for Cardinal to step in and pick up more of a role. He's already had a mountain of success with the drop bear strategy that we've been running, which is amazing. Got our mining community reactivated, got our mining outposts running like a well-oiled machine. So I was beyond happy to see him come into that spot. And then secondly, too, as he said, when the game mechanics changed, right, one of the challenges we had and why this gap was able to be exploited is because of the limitations in in-game roles, right? I think we went from 5 to now we have 10, right, Cardinal? Something like that?
Yeah.
Perfect. While the rest of us were probably looking to just keeping on with whatever NetEase had given us in the past, Cardinal's got a blank sheet and an open book to be able to build what he wants to. So now we're able to make better use of all of those different levels. So it's an opportunity for us to turn a very evil and misguided attack into something that's going to help us in the long term. And I'm excited for Cardinal to take over.
Let's go back to the recovery for quickly, because I like to focus on the positive side. So looking at the glass half full, what did we learn from this? What do we? Again, we lost some really good people. I talked to McPoopy last night as well. He's just personally hurt by this, and how can we avoid similar situations from happening in the future? What do you guys think?
Well,
yeah, I can go ahead, Cardinal. I got 2 or 3 points I can throw in when you're done.
Okay.
Well, one of the things is, you've got to identify the threats of Eve, and the threats of Eve come from everywhere, and that's the beauty of the game, the horror of the game, and it's the reason why we play. and we play in nullsec. You know, you walk out in a $1 billion ship, gonna get blown up if you go in the wrong area. And I guess same this game. It's there is no court of law in Eve. Even if you do find a culprit, you bring them to justice. You go, it was definitely you. What can you do about it? There's nothing you can do about it in reality. So it's one of those things. Is let's learn from it, and we've got to make sure that this doesn't happen again, because the security is not just about what's lost. And I'll put it to you, I will trade all the stuff that was stolen again for the people that we've lost in the last week. And I would give that to them if I could, but I don't. I can't right now, obviously. But that's the type of mechanic. You know, I value the people that we have in our community over the stuff that we have. But it's just it goes in hand in hand. You know, we're here to build something. Sometimes you lose it. Sometimes you gain more. It's just one of those opportunities that now we've got a blank canvas, and we make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I would add on to that and say, one of the core tenets of life that I appreciate, that I try to keep close, is, you're never going to be perfect, and you're always going to make mistakes, and bad things are always going to happen, right? Like, you can't avoid that. You can prepare for it, and you can guard against it, but it's still going to happen, right? 2020 is just is an example of that, right? But what you can make sure is that when you have to go through a hard time, and when you have to have a bad experience, it only has to happen once, right? Like, learn from your mistakes and get better for it. Yeah. So what we have here is a couple really valuable lessons. Like, one is security, right? Which is why with all of these things going on, I don't need to be anywhere near our corporation hangars or responsibilities, right? I want to make sure that that's protected in the future, and Cardinal's here to make sure that happens. Number two is the dynamics of the relationship between a corporation and a corporation's leadership, and an alliance and an alliance's leadership, right? So you think about the Golden Horde. We have, well over 3,000, maybe 4,000 people in game that all fly around in this big entity, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a monster to manage. It invites so many different challenges and conversations and tension that can come from trying to steer such a large beast. I mean, look at the United States. We just had a bunch of rioters storm Congress yesterday over political differences, right? In-game groups are no different, just on a different scale. Yeah. So what's important to keep in mind is that, in my mind, I think something I've recognized recently is that the alliance is a lot like the sun, right? It's going to keep us warm, and it's going to help our crops grow, and so on and so forth. But if you get too close to it and you stay too close to it, you're either going to go blind or you're going to get burnt up, right? And so what we've had is, I think it's important to insulate a lot of our players and our corporation leadership from a lot of the chaos and the politics that go on in an alliance, so that they don't have to experience that burnout and those frustrations, those challenges, right? So, we're adopting a model that we've seen successful, and this is Cardinal's idea, and I fully support it. Cardinal is running the corporation, our officers in the corporation, our corporation officers, and we will have dedicated people that go up the stream and deal with everything in the alliance. I will represent us from an executive level. We'll have military integrations as well, but we want to insulate our people so that burnout doesn't happen on that regard. And then we want to make sure that the security is in a place where, theft and other things like that can't happen in the future. So now moving forward, hopefully we can prevent burnout and things that have impacted us for months in the past, of letting people get too entangled in alliance level politics, and help us stay more centered on what's going to make the game fun, which is building that community, hanging out with those people that you fly with every single day, a part of a larger organization.
Awesome, thank you. I would just like to remind people how we started. We started as the only player first democracy, where everybody has a voice. in the alliance.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, it was a 4,000 people. That's 4,000 voices. Some louder than others. It's a lot of work to unite all the voices together, right? So
absolutely.
Again,
it would be infinitely easier to build the Golden Horde like every other Eve alliance that's ever existed, right? A dictatorship, authoritarian, one person pushing down decisions, just directing everything, and a bunch of worker ants and worker bees that are going out and doing what need to happen. But we leaned in and tried something different, which is representation, right? Because we thought that would allow us to attract the most engaged, the most vibrant corporations, the people who want to have a say, and the people that want to earn their way to being the best that they could be. And we've succeeded in doing that. The corporations we have are phenomenal corporations.
Yeah.
But to Neon's point, right, that's a lot of deliberation and a lot of discussion and a lot of work that has to go in to make all of those different personalities come together. So it's a double-edged sword that we have to be very careful how we swing it.
Yes, double-edged. What are you drinking there? I'm having
water.
Okay.
Water. 10 a.m. over here for me, and it's not my birthday, Neon, so I can't hop on that train yet.
By the way, I have these balloons here because it's my and my daughter's birthday. So
congratulations, Neon.
Neon's 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he loves unicorn. You know what to be sending.
I love it.
Yeah, it's for my daughter.
Sure.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. I like to bring us back to the heist because there's been a lot going on Reddit and other platforms, and there will be more coming. So we talked about lessons learned, right? This is not, again, this person had done it on New Year's Eve where everybody was celebrating and just like normal people, we would, we were enjoying, the start of a new year, and, like most people would do, to forget the old, forget the pains and whatever we had in the last year and trying to move on to the new page, right? Mm-hmm. What does it say about the people who did it at the timing of it? Like, what do you think was going on there? Why do you think they chose this time?
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
Cardinal, you want to go ahead and speak?
No, this is your one, mate.
Okay, sounds good. I got it. Yeah, I would say that I think there's a couple dimensions to it. First and foremost, it's not necessarily just New Year's in the real world, but it is, days leading up to sovereignty and big changes and adjustments. People building their first citadels, all the excitement and joy that people have after months of waiting for this big event to come through. I think the person targeted this time to cause maximum hurt as an opportunity to cut as deep as they possibly could. And I think that also hints to, somebody who is, significantly wounded and personally jaded to want to do that to a community. The understanding that I have from all the messages that I've seen is that it's meant to be an attack against myself, right? A personal attack or a means to come after me. And what makes me sad is that the avenue and the means of doing that was to impact hundreds of people who have nothing to do with whatever grievances this person wants to throw out. Right. And most unfortunately, because I'm in the alliance and I'm doing all this, Discord is my Eve. Right. I'm still flying a Junker Hound and a Vexter trainer, and I hop in fleets and do my best. The nicest ship I own is a retriever. So what?
That got stolen.
Oh yeah.
That got stolen.
Oh my goodness. Oh
yeah. So I think altogether I probably lost, maybe 50 million-ish on my own side of things, and something that I never get a chance to actually use. Meanwhile, hundreds of people who log in every single day, lost everything. and they're the victims of this. And this misguided attempt to attack me has only hurt hundreds of other people, and that makes me sad, and that makes me sad for our community, for this game, that people would be so jaded to think that's the best avenue to solve their problems.
Cardinal, did you want to comment on that?
Well, and it's, I guess, in summary, the person made a point from their own perspective and amplified it by its timing. In summary, it's, in my language, it's fucked. But,
yeah,
it's a video game interview, Cardinal. You're not. You can say that.
Yes.
You can say that.
So, well, what do we do from now on? The best thing we can do is, do it better, and that is, we've learned a lesson, restructure, reorganize. 3 things happened at once for us. There was the theft, there was the burnout, and then there was sovereignty. So we're still here. And I can tell you right now, the team that has rallied, and I'm saying this with 48 hours at the helm, and completely biased, it's fantastic. I'm sitting here with a smile on my face because I've literally just spent 48 hours trying to get this team together, and the team is looking good. So I'm really happy.
I think that's a really good thing to lean on and think about. And this is what I brought up in the all hands meeting that we had yesterday with Valhalla, which is just, people have tried to divide us and rip us apart. This person who just robbed us was one of those people. And we're still here, right? People have robbed us, taken everything that we owned, and we're still here. Sovereignty and in-game challenges and everything that players normally have to deal with, all the obstacles of the Alliance, we're still here, right? So I think what we've found is that, pressure makes diamonds. We've lost some really great people, but what we've found is that core, that unshakable foundation of our player base that is here in this for the long haul. And they're standing behind Valhalla and Cardinal and this team. And we now know, which it's an amazing thing to know as a team. You do this in sports, you do this in business, but you now know that even if you take everything away from these people, that they're going to still fight, you can conquer anything, right? We now know that our corp has that. We now know that this team has that. Other groups that haven't been tested like that before, they won't know until it comes. And many people break, right? Many corporations fall apart or move away, but we have this iron will, or the willpower, as Cardinal likes to call it, that makes Valhalla able to endure and survive and thrive. And I couldn't be more proud of those people. Like it is amazing to see how strong this community has been. And I'm excited and thankful to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was just looking up records of heists and theft. Bad things that's been happening in Echoes. We held the previous record for a little bit as well. If you guys remember the theft of Uni, yes.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to
I think
find
we
the
buried
poster.
that one by a long shot. High five, Cardinal. We smoked that record.
Australian for fuck. But let me just bring it up here, because we made a. This is what we did.
By the way, guys,
yeah.
you should check out the Netflix special with Nicolas Cage going over the history of curse words. His first episode is fuck, and it's phenomenal.
I use it a lot, and I apologize in advance. And it's just a term. It's like yes. No,
it's Australian for yes.
This makes me want to move to Australia just that much more.
yeah, when this COVID thing is all over, we're gonna have some really awesome like real life meetups. Again, this is the poster we made when this happened to uni. Remember that was 3 billion. It seems nothing now, but it was a big deal back then. People on Reddit, in the Echoes community, really responded well to us, seeing how united we were. Right, everybody chipped in, and we ended up. I think uni ended up with more ISK just from donations alone. Right. Do you guys want to share like how much do we? Well, I don't think we covered all of it, but we at least 5 billion, 10 billion. How much do we recover from donations?
I'll be honest with you, Neon. The process is just getting started. I mean, we've been focused on, we needed to get our leadership sorted out. We need to get our player base taken care of, and we needed to explain to them what happens, right? So our first things first was recentering our community and reorienting leadership, and then now we've just yesterday started pushing out, asking for donations, anybody who's willing to help us. So that should be coming in more and more and more, but we're still in the very beginning stages of that rebuild period.
Yeah. Again, the theme is unity, right? We came out of this, like we've been talking about this, we are stronger than ever. But we were not really hurt, right? And I think I saw this somewhere, for building the Citadel for Solve, we did not really suffer any sort of drawbacks, right? Like everything still moved according to plan. Was that right?
Yeah, we were lucky that we made some major investments in some key infrastructure. That's, I guess, separated a significant portion of our overall assets to a point where we had already invested in sovereignty. So the issue now is, how do we adjust with what's happened, bearing in mind some of the things that we wanted to kickstart in terms of like ship replacement, PvP and PvE content. We've got them there ready to go, but the infrastructure that was behind it has disappeared essentially. So the infrastructure that we invested in delivered the capability. It's about waiting for that infrastructure that we already invested in to re-deliver that capability again. That is time, and it's going to happen. We are going to be putting our presence on those that are approaching us, and we are going to be putting it on there as hard and as fast as we can possibly do. And a lot of people willing to do it. And I'll be out there. It's one of the beauty things that I like. I like mining, and I like shooting stuff. I mined. So previously in the game, I mined to shoot. So shooting rocks, and I shoot people. So that's what I was
doing. Right on. Okay. I wanted to bring us back to. Bo sort of mentioned this earlier, but let's go back to it. You said the thieves, they've made demands. They were really acting like Antifa, acting like terrorists. So let me just read some of their demands so far for you guys, and then to get your comments on it. Okay. So number one. Sure. Number one, they want a public apology from you. Apology for what? Apology for, I don't know, apparently you made some, or they think that you made some comments, racist comments or sexist comments or whatever. So that's one. They want a public apology, and they want you, Bo, to resign from GHA. Which again, you can respond to that later. And then number three is to ask for GHA to make a rule to ban free speech, basically, to say that people cannot say what they want to say. Like let's so in return of that, they said, okay, they will return everything that they've stolen,
Yeah.
that they've stolen, if we did all three. Again, public apology, your resignation. Again, you said it earlier. They made it very personal. It's against you. It's not about others. But what we clearly see now is that they did not hurt. I mean, I'm sure you were hurt personally, but you were hurt not because of the theft. You were hurt because of the innocents that were hurt by their actions. The innocents and the people that we lost because they were hurt by these.
Attack a community to target an individual.
Yeah. So
terrible.
So
I'll be completely clear with you guys. I have been the executor of this alliance since we founded it. When we were just a couple hundred people, we've scaled to thousands of people, and I live on Discord all day long, and I must have sent 10,000 or 10,000s of messages at this point, right? I'm sure that there has to be some things out there that I either shouldn't have said, I shouldn't have done. I'm not a perfect person, right? I signed up to play this game, and I signed up to play this game and build a fun community. And I think you guys know that if you look at the core values of Valhalla, if you look at the core values of the Golden Horde, right? Some of the central themes that we've pushed since day one that I helped architect was diversity, right? Being inclusive, being able to welcome people in for their differences and make that a strength, not a detriment to our overall group. I think if you look at where we are today, our alliance has Indonesians, Russians, Chinese, Taiwanese, Americans, Europeans, right? We have Spanish-speaking players in our family as well from all around the world, right? Some Australians, Aussies,
New Zealanders.
We have an alliance that touches on every single continent that has people living on it. And I've been so proud of the community that we built and how inclusive that community is. Right. So I'm sure that, I could probably get floated down the river for, a message here or there, something that was taken out of context or something I might have said in anger at some point. Like I said, I'm not a perfect person, but I think what's important in these situations is to look at the facts in the context of history. Right. I've done everything I could to be a champion for an inclusive and a diverse group of players. I've done everything I could to support this alliance to be as broad and as colorful as it possibly could be, right? We have Russian and Mandarin speaking channels in our alliance. That is who we are, and that is what we is, and that is a fact in today, right? What we have to measure that against is, the attacks of an individual who betrayed their closest friends, betrayed their communities, manipulated everybody around them to take advantage of the situation. Somebody that is a thief, a traitor to this family, that is now using the assets and materials and property of hundreds of other people to blackmail an entire organization, right? So I would say that if it was the decision of our players that this is what they would want to do, then I would be happy to sit down and say whatever is needed to be said to get our people back what they need to get back. What I've heard so far is a pretty straightforward line of just, we're not going to negotiate with terrorists, right? And I think that's the right thing to do here, because we're setting a precedent. If one misguided and jaded, angry individual can force policy and direction on an overall organization, it sets that precedent moving forward that we're going to be vulnerable to malicious acts like this. So I'm not one personally to want to cater to that. I don't think that person deserves that. But again, as it's been always in this game since day one, this is about the community and the players.
Yeah.
And if that's the direction that our people want us to go, then I'll be the first one to walk out the door, so that our people can get back what they need. I personally think that that individual, though, if they want to be seen in any other light than being a thief, a traitor, or a terrorist, should do the right thing and give these people back their assets and materials, and have a conversation about what is bothering them or what is wrong to actually impact change in the right way. None of these issues and none of these complaints and none of these problems have ever been brought to leadership. We've not had conversations with these, so the proper channels were never tried. So I find it hard to give into these types of things when somebody's using such an extreme and horrible way to get what they want.
Exactly. I mean, I just wanted to point out that we have channels in both of our, Valhalla and Alliance Discord. We have this channel called Ask Brother Bo. Is where anyone get to post any questions, we've had people who are angry about a policy or about whatever they were angry about, and they can post it. There was
and I answer them publicly in our all hands every single week. I'll sit there and answer any question that you have, and yet that these questions and these comments have never come up in an Ask Brother Bo meeting in 7, 8 months, 9 months, wherever we're at.
Cardinal, do you want to? Sorry.
No, please.
What was the question now?
Yeah, it's just there has been so much time passed. The channels are there for people to voice their concerns or anger or whatever. They're always there. We have this channel too, right? Voice of the Horde. We have guests on all the time making requests. They have something they want to say. They come to me. They come to the show, or they have Ask Brother Bo, the channel on Discord. They can talk to, or they can talk to a million people. Like literally, like there's channel for the office of the executive, like K-Woman. She's been through all of it, everything. There's Reba from Red One. She's been.
Don't forget all the arbiters who are there to champion and make sure that our rules and our charter, blocking against racism, hate speech, sexism. Those are all things that, from a charter level, that I helped write, are fundamental aspects of this alliance, right?
So we've built
dozens of safeguards.
There are channels that we've built to make sure that people who has a concern and voice can be heard by multiple people, by Bo himself, by management, by leaders in all the corps in GHA. So why do these people just decide to do this without any voicing their concerns? Please.
Feedback, and I use this in my personal life. Feedback equals growth.
Yeah.
Now, feedback comes in all forms, and we've experienced a form that's extremely unpleasant. From this, we've learned things, because the feedback that came back was we did not have our security, we did not have the right people in the right places. That was the feedback we just got from this event, and from that feedback, we've got the growth that we're now undertaking. So, and these channels are available to our members, because this is the best constructive way for us to hear your feedback, because what just happened as a form of feedback is not constructive. It is not helpful in any way. Yes, we learned some lessons from it. Good on ya. Thank you very much. Now give us all our stuff back. But that was, these are the channels that are out there. If you've got something, please voice your concerns, put it on Discord. If you've got questions, we've got people always on going through these channels. And that is the best form of feedback. It's quick, it's direct. You got people helping people. It's not just from a top down. So it's not Bo, it's not me answering the questions. These are the frontline people who know the information, and they're out there helping us all learn this game, grow with this game. And again, yes, it's a form of feedback. We want more feedback going forward. But please, if you're going to give us feedback, please make it constructive.
We've said this since day one. We've said this since day one. Like we're going to fuck up and mess up a million things along this journey, but we are always going to put our players first and let that be our guiding light to trying to figure this out. Right. So feedback is key for us allowing us to pursue a player first direction. Yeah. Right. For us maintaining our culture, and there's nothing more important than that. If we get that right, we can solve everything else. Right. I think it's a testimony to Valhalla and to Cardinal and the people that are there that we have that culture, that player first mindset, because every single time we go through something terrible, every time that we go through an obstacle, there's always people that want to step up and solve the next problem and move us forward. Right. We wouldn't have that if we didn't care so much about our people, and our people know that we care so much about them. So for anybody in the future, as Cardinal said, that's looking to make a change, right? You have a team and you have the people around you that are all about it. And we're doing everything we can to try to make it work the right way. Stealing hundreds of billions and disenfranchising hundreds of players is not the right way to go about solving your problems. And it's not the right way to go about handling a personal grievance.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask publicly, or for the thief to answer, is how do you think, or how does it feel now betraying so many innocent people? Again, and then you wanted to attack Bo. A lot of people wanted to attack Bo. That's one person, but you ended up hurting so many more who were innocent, who were, like, when we started the show, Cardinal talked about, we're all volunteers. We're all volunteering our time, our main job, or at least the people I know in the alliance, like the transitional government and everybody, we're just doing this to keep all the politics, all the hard work away from the players, so that players can enjoy the game and not worry about these things. But management and admin and politics, they need to happen. So, but we have people volunteering their time to do these things so that our players can enjoy the game. Anyways, I found this this meme here. It sort of gives away a lot of. We have a few minutes left. Comments and what do you think? Optifa, fix Valhalla. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a catchy name. I will say that.
I mean, Antifa.
I don't like the blends of social justice being taken into a video game. Period. Like, we have enough of that garbage. People like that in the real world making day-to-day life toxic. So, equality and diversity and freedom of speech and rights are things that are cornerstones and essential for civilization, for people to live the lives that they want to, right? And we'll defend those as much as we can. But people who weaponize those to get what they want and to hurt other people, the Optifa comment seems pretty spot
on. For people who don't know about American politics, where have you been for the last year?
Yeah.
But anyways, Antifa is this terrorist organization who uses the name anti-fascist to cause havoc, to do terrorist activities, to basically do what thieves do. They burn stores down, like you see in this picture. They cause havoc. They steal things. They burn things. They destroy things to make their demands meet that way. Again, this is what terrorists do. I have another one. I found this one. But
I've got
Well,
one that you should
I
consider. I got one you should consider. It's 300 billion, our latest record. Come set the next one with us.
nice. Yeah,
oh my
that's
goodness.
great. Yeah, I'll tell you
I
what.
like
Yeah,
that.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, if it's okay, if it's all right with you, I'd prefer not to look at these memes
Okay, fine.
on this call, just because
That's all right.
I don't want to associate the Golden Horde to these types of memes as funny as they are, or
It's not
or
that funny,
unfortunately
yeah,
accurate. Yeah,
That's
no,
all right.
but yeah, no, I'll definitely dig these up on Reddit though and take a look at them. But as a community, right? Like I disagree with that person did, right? And what that person did was wrong. And all that really needs to happen right now in my mind is that they need to do the right thing and give our people back what they worked so hard for. And then we can put all of this behind us. I'd be happy to entertain a conversation with this individual once the gun has been removed from our players' heads. That's no way to solve your problems. But right now, the only conversation that needs to be had is whether or not this individual is going to stop using Valhalla's players as pawns in her personal vendetta against me. That's the only thing that matters right now.
Well said. Last words and final thoughts, Cardinal. I know we have so much more. I wanted to comment on that too, but please, more first, Cardinal. Your sort of
My final comment.
Yes.
Watch this space. Another record's coming. It's not going to be an internal. To be X.
There you go.
Well said.
More records climbing up, right? Onward and upward.
I
think
again, we're
lost
stronger.
him.
We're better. Yeah, we're better. We hope. Again, it's just people. If you have a concern, please let us know. Bo's always there. On the alliance level, you have so many people: Kaelwyn, Riva, Alamin. We have all these people, who are spending so much time every day on Discord to block all this negativity, all this drama away from our players, and they deserve all the honor, all the credit, and of course, there's going to be bad actors.
Yeah.
It's our
Let's
job
remember,
too.
It's a game. We're all here to play a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. This doesn't have to be a recreation of America's 2020 political scene.
Nah.
We can come in here and shoot spaceships and blow up rocks, and just have a good old time, because that's what we all downloaded the game to do. So I encourage anybody who's listening to remember that and play the game. And if there's things that get in the way of it, let us know, and we'll do everything we can to help you. Thank you for everybody who's listened in. And as Cardinal said, hopefully the next time we hop on this, we're setting external records again instead of a very fascinating and unfortunate internal one. I'm sure with Cardinal into the helm, though, that's not going to be too far away.
Look forward to that, yeah. To Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Skull. Final shout outs from me. Again, I'm wearing the shirt again. Remember, we have a store.
That's right.
And Bo got the shirt too.
Yeah, Golden Horde, baby.
All right.
Giving this out to all my friends. I love this store. You'll load it up with this swag.
Again.
All right, I'm gonna hop onto the next meeting here, guys. Love y'all. Appreciate your time. Thank you, Neon.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Thanks, Neon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.